Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of At Home with the Willises. I'm Nikki Willis, and
I'm Jameen Willis.
And today we've got some hot topics, and I kind of want to talk about a group that you have started that's beginning to flourish. It's really cool, and we're going to share about it right here in this episode. But first, you're at home with the Willises. So before we get started, I want to remind you to make sure you subscribe. So hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you are notified every time we upload new content. Also, if you want to advertise anywhere on our channel, just make sure you email Jen at JENN@thewillisteamlv.com. All right, that was pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's because I want to get into these hot topics.
Yeah.
Which,
first of all, good morning. How you doing today?
Hi. Well, I don't know if it's morning if they're wherever you're watching. Could be evening. Good afternoon. Good evening.
It's morning for us.
It is morning for us.
Yeah.
Which we done woke up, child, and we done lost Quincy.
We lost QJ.
We lost him at the tender age of 91.
He's pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, why are you going to say it like that?
Because you said the tender age.
It's a tender age. When you get into the 90s,
it was
the strong age.
It's a blessing to live to 91. So when I say he was pretty old, he didn't die young. He didn't die suddenly. You know how.
What's the life expectancy for black men? Do you know?
A lot lower than 91.
It is. He didn't have them blessed
That's
years.
a good question. I got to Google that. I don't know if I want to know.
I believe life expectancy for women is it 78? Look at
I know
women
it's
too.
lower for men than it is for women.
It is. So we're going to see.
Whose report do you believe?
You believe the report of the Lord. You so churchy. Okay. Anyway. So yes, we done lost Quincy, y'all. He passed away this week, surrounded by friends and close family.
67.6. What's the
Wow,
point?
74? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. 74 years for white women. What about black women? Oh, Lord.
What?
It says the average expectancy for white men is 74.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. Well, see, I need to know for black men versus, black men and black women because we're black.
That's not what you asked. Your initial question was, what was the life expectancy for black men?
Okay, yeah, black women was 60.
Let me Google.
And it's 60.
6.7.
Wow. That's okay because we're starting to take better care of ourselves. We're eating healthy. So hopefully you can live until the tender age of 91. But I'm curious because he was living, but he's now a legend. Mm-hmm. Musically, this man was gifted. So what is your favorite body of work? And if you don't tell me the right answer, I'm going to be upset.
What you mean? Is my favorite.
What's your favorite Quincy Jones body of work?
Frank Sinatra.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Quincy Jones body of work. What's your favorite?
No, for me, obviously I wasn't around in Quincy Jones's heyday. So for me, he came out with this album called Q's Juke Joint.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, oh, okay. But I started doing my research on who this dude was and all the stuff he produced and all the people that he helped. Yeah. But he had a current album where he had a whole bunch of people, Tevin Campbell,
Tamia was on that one.
Yeah, he had a whole bunch of people on there. So it's Q's Juke Joint. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty dope. So
So that's your favorite body of work?
Yeah.
Guess what mine is? If you don't guess, I'm going to be mad.
Michael Jackson or something.
No. Now, most of y'all would think it's Thriller. It is not, even though he did. He was a part of that project. He was a part of that album and that record. Mm-mm.
What is it?
It's The Wiz.
Oh, yeah.
Shut it down. when Quincy Jones touched that score, it was over for me. I wasn't even born yet, but he created it just for me.
I'd never seen the Wiz.
He's the Wiz and he's the...
I seen it.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's seen it. I made it. He made me watch all 3 Godfathers. Yeah. I had to watch Scarface and all the other things. I had one request. You must watch the Wiz. And do you know he was not impressed?
It's a weird movie.
It is not. See, this is...
It is. They're all weird. Diana Ross is weird. Michael Jackson is weird. They're all weird in there.
No, it's a cult classic, first of all. So don't worry about that,
cult
okay?
Classic, see?
Don't worry about that.
The cold word.
Did you hear the music? You can't win, you can't break even, and you...
It was a musical.
So did you like Purple Rain?
Purple Rain? Yeah, I like Purple Rain.
Because that one didn't make sense to me at all.
No. I was too young to understand that.
No, they had a movie. It was Prince and Morris Day. I think it was Morris Day. It was called, dang, now I forgot.
Did Quincy score
something
that?
Under the Cherry Moon. And it had Prince in it too. But Prince doesn't have to make sense. He's an artist.
Rest in peace for him too.
Right.
Now we are losing a lot of good people this year.
But Quincy Jones was 91.
We just lost Amos.
Oh yeah, dude from Good Times.
Yes, we lost the father from Good Times.
Lucky we got.
Yeah. Who else did we lose? James Earl Jones. We lost him this year. He was in his 90s. Why do people think
he was already dead? That's
That's disrespectful. Y'all need to do y'all's research. That is disrespectful. But now he really is gone. So rest in peace to James Earl Jones as well. But listen, if you have not watched The Wiz, you know what? Put in the comments if you have watched The Wiz, and let me know what your favorite song is. Mine, obviously, is when they get to the Emerald City. I want to be seen green. I wouldn't be caught dead red. Oh, yes. And there's a little Easter egg in there. Quincy Jones is actually in that scene. You're welcome. You are welcome. Anyway, rest in peace to Quincy Jones.
So they say he rubbed shoulders with presidents, foreign leaders, movie stars, musicians.
He lived almost a century.
Count
Can you imagine?
Basie.
And he was a musical prodigy, so he started as a child, I believe. And because he started he was doing things with Ray Charles, I think. So he's had an expansive history. I wonder what's his discography?
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Thriller alone, I would have retired. I'd have been like, well, I got my best.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Yeah, I'm good. He was a part of, oh Lord, he was the one that put Will Smith on The Fresh Prince.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Oh, I know. Also, he has a documentary that is so good. My son and I, we watched it. Josh and we watched it. I want to say it came out in 2017, maybe 2018. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I think it's on Netflix. So check out his documentary. It is fascinating.
I remember you watched the documentary.
I told you to watch it.
I went back and watched it. I did. I watched it.
You seem unimpressed. Listen, Quincy Jones was he's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites. As far as dang, did I see Roots? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord have
We
mercy.
Are the World. He was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
From Chicago.
Chi-Town. Shout out to Chi-Town. Y'all be producing them for sure. Some of the most eclectic creators come from Chicago.
My favorites, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorites.
We know.
From the Chi.
We know. Look, speaking of Chi-Town, we're losing someone to Chi-Town.
This is true.
I'm going to talk about it. We are losing people left and right with the Aces, and I don't know how to feel about it. Now, maybe it's just me, and because I am new
It's just you.
to sports and all these things, but all of this shifting and moving and all the things with teams, I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. You know, the hiring and the firing and the trading and the things. We are losing we've already lost them. 2 assistant coaches and our GM with the Las Vegas Aces.
It could be worse.
Huh?
It could be losing players. This is a good
Well,
thing.
I know they're redoing the coaching staff, and then they're gonna start messing with the players. And I don't know if my heart is ready. Like, I think I got too attached to the players, and now I have a problem. Like, now I have a problem because I started 5. Like, you know, as a fan, we like this.
I think we're still on a good run where we're still going to have our core players. But this is always a good thing. When an assistant coach can be on a winning team, that's great on their resume, which provides opportunity for them to move up.
And they got poached.
Head coach.
And now we are alone.
No,
and I am upset about it.
We're not.
We've lost Tyler Marsh. Now, Tyler, I believe he was he was over like player development. He is now the head coach of the Chicago Sky. That Coach Spoon was over. And then they let her go after 1 season, which hurt my heart too. And
Right.
it hurt Angel Reese's heart. Okay. But now Tyler Marsh is going to be head coach over there. Natalie Nakasi. I'm sorry, Natalie, if I'm mispronouncing your name.
You
your
heard
last
about her
name.
leaving and don't even know how to pronounce her last name.
Because I know her as Natalie. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Like we cousins.
Yeah, because I know her as Natalie. Who knows people's last name when you cousins? You know what I'm saying? Huh. Anyway, she is now the head coach of the expansion team. Can I call it an expansion team? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
The Golden State
Valkyries.
Valkyries.
Yeah.
What's a Valkyrie?
What is a Valkyries?
Google it.
It sounds like a gargoyle or
gargoyle.
right? It sounds
with you.
like something
I've heard of it before.
gothic.
Something with wings. You know?
Up. Is that right?
Golden State Valkyries. Valkyries mean
Meaning, okay. What is it?
it is
I'm right.
Images.
What is a Valkyries?
what?
It's like a. They do have some kind of winged
It's
helmet. Yeah. Winged warrior kind of. Yeah.
A
Okay.
female figure who
Okay.
guides souls of the dead to the God. Can we find a different?
That's
You don't want that?
Can we find no? Listen, I'm telling you right now. If I'm on the draft list for 2025, and y'all over here talking about Nikki Willis, draft pick number 3, because I ain't gonna be number 1. Don't worry about it.
It means chooser of the slain. So they get to pick who died.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm gonna sit this one out. I don't want to
Like a
go.
bird winged
I don't want to go.
situation.
Of all the things.
Yeah.
Of all the things, of all the mascots, what is this mascot gonna look like? The Grim Reaper?
No, it's like a bird looking thing.
So it's just gonna sit and
Remember
just
when I
perch
was
itself
telling you like
on
they
seats?
can't duplicate, so it's not going to be any other
It'll never be the
team
Bears.
of the
It'll never
Bulls,
be-
or
right.
so they got to pick some animals or some entities or something.
Could have been a
Do we have a
Pokemon.
koala? Huh?
The koala.
We don't have koalas.
Probably it's a minor league baseball team is called the koalas.
Canada.
Probably. So that's
Anybody got a leopard? Leopard.
I'm sure that's
with
a leopard.
with the leopard jerseys. Now that would be sharp. And the zebras. There are no zebras.
We'll write
Zebra.
a letter, Nikki.
I think
It's okay.
zebra is plural.
Watch this. You see this?
What? I'm
Me
just
reeling
saying.
you back in.
Well,
Let's reel it back in.
The Valkyries.
You were going through the whole Noah's Ark of animals.
Well, because I just feel that there are 0 dinosaurs. So it could have been the Golden State
Raptors,
T-Rexes.
Toronto Raptors.
Okay. Then the T-Rexes. I'm just saying.
There's room.
There's room, is what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you, Tyler and Natalie, for your services. We wish you all the best.
Yeah, so go from assistants to head coaches. Like, I like it.
I mean, loyalty. Where's the loyalty?
they move up in the world.
We wish you all the best.
Natalie
Williams.
Where did she go?
I think she was she just let go though?
Nah.
And who's our new GM?
She didn't get fired.
We have holes. Big ones. Very, very big holes. And it's making me sweat. I'm hot. Because I'm nervous. We were back-to-back champs, right? We got all the way to the semifinals.
We had one season where we didn't make it to the end.
This is giving me the bubble guts.
But we still got our players, so we're good out here.
There's going to be a change. And I'm just... Whew, it's hard. It's hard out here being a sports fan. I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't. Because, I am invested. And I enjoy being the Aces. Like, it's cute. Our colors are cute. Even though they are taking out the red and, like, doing, like, a silver-black situation, which,
Trying to have it match the Raiders.
Right. But there's a difference between us and the Raiders. We're back-to-back champions. Okay. I said what I said. Y'all get it together.
It's true.
Y'all get it together. I love the Aces. I'm a huge fan. Anyway, I wish everybody the best. I do, but I had to get that off my chest.
It's very hard to three-peat in any sport. Very difficult.
Yeah, so then why don't we all stay together? You know what I'm saying? And, like, work on us.
But you got to think about it. Like, so...
They just started,
if we're talking about 3 seasons, by the third time, clearly we're already 3 years older than we were and, a little bit more. So they got to get new people in just so they can stay young and hot.
Do we really, though?
Yeah.
Can't we just stay together?
Not making it all the way to the finals and winning provided opportunity for people to, like,
exit.
Off-ramp. Yes, because if they would have won again, it's like, well, why would I leave? We just won the whole thing.
Exactly. So let's just keep working together. I don't know. That's tough.
It happens in sports. Just like my favorite team, the 49ers. Like, we had 4 defensive coordinators in the past 4 years because they left and they got head coaching jobs. So one was the head coach of the Jets. The other one became the head coach of the Titans. No, not the Titans. The Texans.
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, at least it was a move up and not a move down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a move up, not a move out.
We'll be all right.
But now we're out here, okay? And I don't want to hear, this is going to be a building season. I don't want to hear that. Because we was tight. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But, okay. So, speaking of sports, what I really want to get into is what you've started since the beginning of football season. And the number one reason why I do not see you on Monday nights. It's your Monday Night Men's Huddle.
Yes, Monday Night Huddle.
So, do you want to tell everybody, like, how you started it, what it does? Because I'm also not invited. Can we talk about that? No girls allowed. Which is fine, because I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. That y'all have to have y'all's own thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with not being invited. I am giving main character energy. Nia was right. My daughter was right. But it's okay.
Main character energy. So you just now realizing that?
I just realized that as the things were coming out of my mouth, it was giving main character energy. So I'm saying on record, I'm not invited to the Monday Night Men's Huddle, and I'm okay with that.
And neither is any other.
Right. No girls allowed.
Women,
okay.
Women allowed.
No women allowed, or girls. So tell everybody about the Monday Night Men's Huddle.
Yeah. So I started a men's group. Yeah. It's called the Men of Black Henderson. So we have our nonprofit Black Henderson. And I started a subgroup called the Men of Black Henderson. Yeah. I looked at there's a lot of like social groups and networking groups out, but there's a lot of great groups that cater to women. So we have our friends that have networking groups like Black Girl Mixer.
Yeah.
We have business besties, and in general, I think women are a little bit better about like networking and like fellowship.
We like
and things
community.
like that.
Yeah.
But typically, it's not the same with men, and particularly black men. And so I thought about like when I was younger, when I was single, I would hang out with my boys or hang out with the guys. But as you get married or get into a relationship, start having kids, you tend to do more things with your family or do your wife. And there's not as many like outlets or opportunities to network, fellowship, or have discussions and things other than maybe like a church group or something like that. So I'm super passionate about personal development, period, but particularly personal development pertaining to black men. So I wanted to do something to where it wasn't like super like what, lack of better words, like awkward, to where we just meet up and start
And just sit
talking
around.
and like a lot of times it's difficult for men to like express their feelings or things that are going on with them. So you want to have the networking aspect, but also I didn't want to like just sit around and watch sports and like not talk about anything. So
Okay.
I created something called the Monday Night Huddle, where we get together and watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And at halftime, we talk about topics and issues that we face as men, and it's going very well. It's halfway through the NFL season, so we're halfway through. This is week 6, I believe.
There gotta be more. It's only been 6.
No, wait a minute, 8. Halfway through the season because it's
Yeah.
16 games. Yeah, 8.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
so
y'all
8.
been going strong for about 2 months.
500 so far.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going really well. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what I did. And it's going really well. We meet
y'all-
on Monday nights.
Yes, and y'all don't go. So you guys have met at different locations too.
Yeah, so we meet at different locations for 2 reasons. Not everybody lives in the same area, so I try to move it around a little bit in Henderson. So if it's close to you one time, it may be close. If it's farther away from you, like I kind of move it around.
Yeah.
But also I want to just highlight different places where you could just go. So I try to keep it in or near Henderson, and I kind of move it around because everybody doesn't live in the same place in Henderson. And also it's just kind of like a good like change of scenery. Like every week we have a different topic. We not saying we don't go to the same place twice, but we have different locations where we meet.
Yeah, so I'm sure people are like, okay, for lack of better words, who all is over there? Like, what is this for? If I have, a teenage son, can he come, or is this more for like men, like 18 and up, or who is this for?
I would say that it tends more towards adult men. A teenage son definitely could come, but
y'all get into deeper topics.
We get into deeper topics, and most of the time it's relevant if you have a career, a family, children,
and that's okay.
Yeah. But it's not like they couldn't relate, but this would be less relatable for a teenager. But we can actually tailor the topics. So if we are having teenagers there, like we talked about if we have sons, we talked about bringing our sons, or specifically inviting teenagers. So that would be like a special event. But like the day-to-day, we talk about topics relevant to the group that consistently comes and the people that come.
Yeah. You gotta tell them. we gotta talk about one of the top things that you hear when new men arrive, that you always tell me that they say. Like the reason why they're there.
Oh yeah, so it was
funny
because when I initially started it, I reached out to some people that I'm cool with, that I have relationships with, and I was like, "Hey, I'm starting this thing called Monday Night Huddle. Love for you to come out." And then we did event, we did Eventbrite, and put it on social media and stuff like that. So people came, and so I had people kind of like go around and introduce themselves and tell a little bit about themselves, and then like 50% of the guys was like, "I'm here because my wife told me to come here." My wife told me something about it, the group, and so I'm here.
I think that's like really important. Because let's be honest. Wives for the most part we run the calendar. Like we run the family calendar, so we know like how things are gonna fall in place, how things are gonna work out, and everything. So if it's on the family calendar, okay, then I notice in my husband or my significant other or whatever. But also, I think we as women, like we've been married 16 years. And I know the importance now of my man needs to be in a space with other men.
Yeah.
That he can just go and not be husband, not be father, and just go and be, for you, Jameen, and talk amongst other men, like get some, some positive energy. And then, when you come home, we see that your things are lifted a little bit. You feel lighter, like you're smiling. That's a big thing. So it's funny because like when you come home, you're telling me about the new guys that have come, and they're like, yeah, my wife sent me over here, or whatever. And I think that's so funny. But I love how, I think if you're looking to be in a strong relationship, women are going to champion their men being around other men, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can always tell. Like we had some people that when they put it up, they commented about the group. And,
oh yeah, we got some haters you talking about.
But you can tell, like, just in every instance, it's a single woman that commented about it. That had a negative comment or something to say to a negative effect. So most of the time, it's like a single woman.
And that hasn't been a lot either.
No.
It's been like one or two.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been positive, and like it's one of those things like, just try it. just try it. For the women, encourage your man to go. And it might not be, because I know many of you guys are watching, not that don't live in Las Vegas. There are other groups and things like that for your man or whatever. But encourage your man to have something outside of what's going on at home. And I think to your point, because women love community, we can seek it out faster. Like I've got, community groups at my church. I've got community groups in my profession. I've got community groups just outside because we love community. But for guys, it is a lot harder for you guys to find safe spaces, positive spaces. Then when y'all start talking about feelings or, getting mushy or whatever, I don't know. I usually don't ask what the topic is because it's none of my business. But you guys get into.
Today you can get it inside.
What y'all talking about? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I think it's important for you guys to be in spaces where you've got positivity happening. So now I am gonna get it a little bit in your business. Okay. So do guys actually share, like when y'all talk or whatever? Because you're quiet. I mean, I don't. Maybe y'all haven't noticed. But he's pretty quiet, so
I'm really.
I'm
really not.
Share?
I mean, I am.
How
quiet,
do you get the guys?
But
to
I'm
open
more
up?
of a I'm a one-on-one talker.
Okay.
So when you see me in big groups, I kind of fade away, or I'm with you. Main character energy, like we both can't be out here just blinding people with our star power. So.
I really feel
I
like
would
that's
think
going to be
that's
the next show. Like, I need to talk about this main character business. Like, let's discuss.
Jen. No.
So when and so I'll just say for me, when you're not around, it's kind of like it's my time to shine. And so what I did was I put myself out there, and I'm always the first person to be transparent and talk. And that's like one of the things, like even the next time we meet, that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about. What I did was I kind of put myself out there, and I was transparent. So I was the first person to open up. And I think for men, if you see somebody that you can relate with do something first, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not like the only person going through this world. Like if he was willing to share, then I'm a share. You know what I mean? So it makes a person feel a little bit more comfortable. So, you know, the first thing I do is I started off, the first topic I talked about was being transparent. And so a lot of people in the group already knew me and knew who I was.
Right.
And some didn't know me, but they was like, okay, you starting off like that. So if you're willing to be open and be transparent. So the group, I started the group, but the group is also for me too. It helps me too. So I started off being right off the gate, being transparent and like opening up.
Yeah.
But like if I would have just started off the gate without it, coming to a football game or having some food or something like that, or some cigars or something like that, it's just a little tough for men to like open up and you know, make it relative. So the big thing is like you gotta like be relatable and then also be transparent too.
That's interesting. So y'all actually do talk in there though.
Oh yeah, so like I meet with some guys like just about every week, and it's a great time. Like we smoke cigars, we may have a drink, we have lunch, we talk about absolutely nothing. So there's no like
Because I know that like the men can y'all.
there's no accountability. There's
Yeah.
no topic. There's no, hey man, I got this going on. We just sitting there like,
just shoot the poops and just go for it.
Kicking it.
yeah. So a lot of times that's what we do. We get together and like I got a group text with some guys that's from, you know, where I'm from, Ohio, and we still got a group thread, but we talk about
nothing.
sports, knockout videos, MMA, boxing. We're not having like no real dialogue and stuff like that. So a lot of times we get together and watch, you know, sports or drink or whatever, but there's no real discussion on. But we have like real discussion. So when I say that we watch the football game and then at halftime we talk about the topic, but we go way beyond halftime, and we kind of half watch the second half because the topics and the dialogue is so good that we don't forget about the football game, but we glance up and we're watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if we're not talking, we glancing and watching what's going on with the game. But yeah, no, I mean it's great. Like,
Do y'all talk about y'all's problems?
Yeah, we talk about our problems, and that's kind of like the topic.
But you talk like problems and good things?
We mostly talk about good things and the challenges we face trying to achieve the good thing or whatever the topic was. So the topic will bring up a challenge or a problem, but it's not we talked about that before, it's not a woe is me. It's not let's go and dump on our wives and girlfriends.
I was going to ask that, and I figured some of the women watching, they wanted to know, like, is this like a wife bashing group?
What is it? The woman haters? What was the one? From Little Rascals?
Yeah, Little Rascals. It was like no girls allowed on the thing.
Yeah, no, it's not that at all.
So
I mean,
it's not
people,
not wife bashing.
He-Man women haters. That's what it was.
No, people share their frustrations because it's hard for you to have a discussion with your spouse or your wife or anyway when they're like right there in front of your face.
Sure.
But also, nobody is trying to disrespect their spouse or their wife or dump on their spouse in the company of a whole bunch of other people. So it's a space where people can express their frustrations, but it's definitely not a dump on your wife. We really focus on the development of ourselves. So it's like, how do I be a better person? How do I deal with this situation? How do I have a perspective that can allow me to understand how my wife feels, what she views, and things like that? It's really not about other people. It's about really, that's the thing. Like, you take this time to focus on yourself, because when we're out in the world, and sometimes it can be difficult. You can chime in and let me know.
Sure.
It's kind of difficult for a wife or a woman to understand, particularly a black man. Like, when I leave the house, it's like I have a certain mentality that I have. Mentally, I have like an armor that I put on when I leave the house.
Yeah.
So I don't live my life in fear. I don't think like, oh, am I going to go out and a George Floyd situation happens, something like that.
Yeah.
But in every aspect, like if I walk into a restaurant, I may be a minority. I don't like just think walking there like be in fear, but it's like when you get up and you go out as a man, you got armor. Like, you going to work, or your business, you're going to provide.
Yeah.
You're thinking about your family. You think about somebody potentially physically harming you. And so you have all these roles. Even when you go home, you have your relationship with your wife, you have your relationships with your kids. And a lot of times the man, if it's a household where it's like a mother and father, the man is the leader. They're the head of the household. They may be the provider. They may be the breadwinner. We seldom get a chance just to be ourselves without that role.
Yeah.
And we constantly focus on taking care of our role so much that we seldom get an opportunity to just be me. Like, I'm a person before I'm this role. So I think that's why a lot of men benefit from coming to Monday Night Huddle.
Yeah, that's good.
Just the fellowship and the topics, it gives them a chance to just be themselves without the roles and responsibilities, and you can put your shield down for just a second. You know what I mean? Because nobody's trying to attack you. You don't have to guard yourself as much. So that's the thing. It's the best way I can put it is a place where men can put that heavy shield down, and you don't have to be as guarded, because everybody there in one way or another is going through some of the same thing, life experiences, and same things that you're going through.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And I remember, like, I'm glad you shared it this way, because you shared that with me before too. And that was when, as a wife, and as a wife to a black man, I got it. Because, so for us, we've also have different roles, and a shield and things that we must carry as well, but we have different outlets than you guys have. We have more options for outlets than you guys have. I could call, 3 of my girlfriends up today, and we'll have a painting party by tonight. You know what I'm saying? Versus some black men never, if you think about it, some black men never get a chance to put their shield down. Never get a chance to just breathe and be him for just a moment. And be poured back into. And express how they feel, or express that they have fear or concerns, or even express, hey man, something really good happened to me this week, right? Because like you were saying, it's not just a woe is me thing. You're celebrating, or you're talking about your wins, you're talking about losses, you're talking about a lot of things. One of the things that I wanted to also highlight which we haven't talked about much, but I want to highlight this, is the mental health aspect of it, because you've partnered with somebody that, if you guys have been watching the podcast for a while, he was a guest on our show, Keith Stark, who is a licensed mental health therapist, and you've partnered with him for the mental health aspect. And I think, again, it's as a wife, like, I really want my husband to, like, just be around other men and have community with other guys that are like-minded and have shared similar values. But then it was also the mental health aspect, and not from just, for lack of better words, a lay person. This is someone who's a licensed therapist, who's also a Black man, who is also living life as a Black man, having those similar experiences, and then can be there as a reference, as a referral, for guys who need it. And that to me, I was like, oh, well, you definitely getting out of here and going every Monday. And I think you've only missed one, because it's been so beneficial. And it's been beneficial to see you come back on Monday night just refreshed. Even if it's just a little time, to see you come back and you've been able to talk about things that you would rather not come to talk to me about, and that I would probably rather not hear, because I'm a woman and I think differently.
Yeah.
So talk about that and how that has been beneficial to have a licensed therapist with you on with the Monday Night Men's Huddle.
Yeah, so before we had our first meeting, I met a licensed therapist, Keith Stark. Shout out to my guy, Keith Stark.
Yeah.
We had him on a podcast, and we interviewed him.
If you haven't watched that one, we'll put it in the description. We'll put the direct link in the description, because it was one of our most watched ones.
Yeah. So from like the first time I met him, we just kind of had like a aha moment, and kind of like a connection. He like is sarcastic like me, and he can shoot sarcastic things off, and we really just borderline insult each other a little bit, but it's funny, comical. So I found out that a therapist could be like lighthearted and be funny like that too.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But the whole thing is to provide a resource to men. Now, yes, target audience is Black men, but it's just men, period.
Yeah.
But so when we have Monday Night Huddle, it's like group coaching or like group therapy. So we talk about some topics like men be expressing their feelings, their frustrations, things that they go through, topics that's relevant. But if it's ever a situation where you feel like, man, I'm really struggling, or I feel like I'm depressed, or I need to talk to somebody, we have a licensed therapist that we can refer you to with Keith Stark, that can talk to you one-on-one if you feel like you really need therapy. And I think that it really helps, because a lot of times we can find, like, even like doctors, like you want you would pick a doctor that you can relate to, whether it's a woman or a Black woman, or just you would rather go to somebody that you can relate with. So if you see a therapist that you can relate with, it makes you more open to therapy, because you can relate with this person. So if you're sitting here, watching a game with a therapist, you're like, oh, maybe therapy isn't so bad, or it's not just for the crazy people. Yeah. But it's a resource so if you're really going through something and you need somebody to talk to, we have that as a resource. Yeah. But I think the thing that makes it awesome is it makes it relatable. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and that's really the success of it, period. You know, when people may look at Keith or they may look at me or the people that come in the group, we have all different kind of people. So we have therapists, entrepreneurs, people in government, people, entrepreneurs, people that work 9 to 5, people that have kids, people that don't have kids.
Yeah.
So it's really
Married
relatable.
and not married.
Yeah, married and not married.
Yeah.
So we have different perspectives.
It's very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's cool as well. Talk about the let's talk a little bit more about the diversity of the group. I think now over the past several weeks, you know, you've got men that have continued to come. You also got men in sports too now.
Yeah.
As well. So talk about how, you know, what that does to the dynamics of the group, the diversity.
You know, as
Different
you have
perspectives.
any type of organization and you grow, you have to make adjustments and make changes. We started something called a shot clock because you have people that, you know, you have introverts and you have extroverts. So you have some people that like kind of observe and they sit in a corner and they may not say a whole lot. And then you have some people like every time it's opportunity to speak, it's like, oh yeah, and I can relate to that because blah blah blah. So,
Chatty Cat.
yeah, so we developed a shot clock
Chatty
to
Chads.
where
We'll call
if you
them Chatty
get a little
Chads.
carried away with your,
So it's called a shot clock.
yeah, we put people on the shot clock because
Y'all better not put me. You and Jonathan better not put me on no shot clock. I tell you.
well,
that.
you want to be respectful to other people if they have something to share or input, and then also if somebody is in their head like, oh, should I talk or should I say something, and then the person jumps in and they always saying, you know, they going over there like, never mind, I just ain't gonna do it. So you're just respecting everybody's time, but also respecting people's opinion. So we have. We had to develop a shot clock timer, but also we have like ground rules of our number one ground rule, and this is like, if you don't know, now you know. A big thing for men is respect. So for us, we respect the one of the topics that we talked about was diversity in thought. So there's no prerequisites of being a Democrat or a Republican, specific religion or specific background. So we respect each other as men, but we also respect that we all have different perspectives, different opinions, different points of view. And so you have to have ground rules. But yeah, it can get very, I wouldn't say the word eclectic, but it allows you to think and grow because you may have, somebody else may have a perspective that you didn't think about.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have a different perspective, you couldn't learn and grow.
Yeah.
That's
Diversity of thought.
Yes, the benefit of that's the benefit of networking.
I like that.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
shot clock thing is pretty cool too. And then I imagine you being an introvert yourself, you know what it's like to be that person in the corner where you really want to say something, but you just like you kind of let the extroverts kind of take over. So how do you pull out the introverted people?
I pull out the introverted people because it took a bit of courage and a leap of faith to even start the group. But if I see somebody that I know that's not like contributing a lot, I'll ask them a question, and that's a big thing too. Like a lot of things, some people are just waiting for you to ask them a question or the right question, and they actually will talk or they'll respond or they'll have an input. Sometimes it's about just asking a question or inviting somebody to share, and then they'll talk. So that's been my experience. And that's what I tell a lot of people, because a lot of times if you don't ask me a question, I may not talk or I may not share. But that's kind of like the biggest thing that you can do for an introvert is ask a question. And you know, we don't make people share because there's sometimes like you may not be comfortable. It may be a particular topic where you just you're just not there yet, where you're not ready to talk about it, or it may not be that relative to you. So there's no like forced communication. Like, well, how do you feel, Bill? Like, you know, it's not like that. But if I see somebody just kind of like observing and they're not kind of chiming in, I'll just kind of like, well, me or Keith will ask a question and just kind of gauge the spark the conversation up a little bit.
That's cool. Well, I know, I guess, what your testimonial has been. You started the group, so we're both a little biased. But, like, have you heard what guys are saying? Like, after they come from, or, you know, after y'all end, like, what did they say at the end?
Well, there's two things that made me feel like, okay, we got something here. We're on to something. One thing is, you know, as entrepreneurs and the things that we do, sometimes like when we have events and stuff, it's like a revolving door of people. Like it'd be a totally different group of people as the last time we had an event or a function or something like that. So for me, I seen guys keep showing up, keep coming back. And for some reason, you know, I don't know if it's a guy thing or what, like it's really hard to get guys to RSVP. It's really hard to get guys to say, I'm coming. But what's funny is they'll tell me they're not coming. They'll text me and be like, oh, sorry, bro, I can't make it this week. But they won't tell me that they won't RSVP.
They just expect you to
They'll
know
just
that
show
coming.
up. So I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 20.
Yeah.
But they just show up. But one thing is like, guys keep coming back, and if they can't come, they actually text, and we have like we use a app called Discord to communicate. So that, and then the other part that made me say, okay, this is really working, or people are finding value. It is when we come back that next week, they talk about the previous topic or the previous topics before and said, man, that really helped me. Because a lot of times you can forget, you know, just like you go to church, you forget what the sermon was. You can forget what the sermon was before you get home to have Sunday dinner. But they remember the topics. They talk about how it helped them. And, you know, we're getting new people, and the group is growing. So we get the same people coming back.
Yeah.
The group is growing, and people actually remember the topic. So people like are really thankful for us starting the group, and they appreciate the transparency,
the realness,
and sharing things. And I was surprised. Like you'd be thinking, oh, it's gonna take a while for men to open up. Nah, people really be like opening up and sharing, and it just really helps because it's always like that one person who you like. If this person say something, I'm gonna share, or like now I understand, or I feel more comfortable. So that's why I think networking is important. So we want people to come out. We want people to enjoy the group. And, you know, it can be tough, man. You know, like you never know. This is not just about men or Black Henderson or men, period.
Yeah.
You just never know what the next person is going through.
That's true.
Like I had a guy that was supposed to come, and the one time that I didn't come, he didn't come because I wasn't there, because he was like, well, I don't know nobody. I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? So you just never know what the next person is going through, and just the fact that you would be willing to, you know, put yourself out there, or there's a resource or a place for you to kind of go to, could be a big help to somebody, a big change, whether it be just, you know, allowing them to just feel encouraged or inspired to do something, helping them be a better father, a better husband, a better leader, person in the community. So it's overall, it's going really well.
Yeah. Well, that was good. I will say, I've definitely, in the past now 8 weeks, almost 2 months that you guys have been doing this, I have seen a change in you. And I want to congratulate you. Because like you said, you took a leap of faith. You weren't, you know, quite sure if anybody was gonna show up or anything like that, but you took a leap of faith, and I definitely see a change in you. I got some girlfriends who send their husbands to the group, and they keep sending their husbands back. Like we got Mondays over here. Y'all get together and y'all talk. So I'm proud of you for doing this. I'm proud of the men that are showing up, for themselves, that are allowing themselves to take the shield down for just a moment and be poured into.
Yeah.
Because y'all have to be poured into as well.
I got a confession.
What?
I appreciate what you said, though. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. What's your confession, though?
We still need the women. Like, I need the women to send their husbands, to send their boyfriends.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
All right, ladies.
Yeah.
You heard it right here. This is the time where we say, hey, don't worry about Monday. I got Monday. Here's the address. You go here. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. That is what we need to do. Our men need spaces where they can be themselves, where they can be poured into. And I know I have seen a difference in you for being around other positive men. So, ladies, this is your time to go ahead and encourage your husband to go to Monday Night Huddle. It's only for a few hours. I think you're home within like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, about 3 hours. About the span of the football game.
Yeah.
About 3 hours.
And this is not just them going to watch a football game and do nothing, shoot the poops and do nothing. Y'all are really talking about life-changing things. Mm-hmm. And so I say just try it, okay? Send them for a trial run and see if you don't see a difference in your man. Because obviously we want them to be a better version of themselves, number one, for themselves. But then if they are, then that means they're going to be better versions of themselves for you as well. So, ladies, we know what to do. Go ahead and throw it in the calendar. They can find it on Eventbrite. So if you follow Black Henderson NV on Eventbrite, just hit that follow button and you'll always get notified every time we upload the newest event. So not just the Black Men's Huddle, but any event that we have, if you follow us on Black Henderson NV, you'll get an email when a new event comes up.
And it's always on my Instagram too, Flipping
and it's
LV.
on his Instagram. So yeah, Flipping LV. And it's on the Black Henderson Instagram as well. Black Henderson NV. So plenty of ways for you to find out when it happens, but just remember Monday Night Football. And that's like the easiest way. Y'all, you guys are halfway through.
Yep.
And so we want to see more men that are going to be joining you guys. And I know as a wife, as a woman, as a Black woman, I'm rooting for you guys. I am pulling for y'all. I know as a black woman, I can say that we see firsthand how our Black men are treated, what you guys have to go through. We don't walk it, so that's a difference. But we see it, and so if there's a time where you guys can get poured into, get fortified, get strengthened, then we need to encourage that opportunity, and it's right here in the city of Henderson, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, babe, I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm proud of you for receiving that compliment. Look at you growing. I'm loving it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Real Estate Minute of the day. Let's talk about need to haves versus nice to haves. Okay? So let's say that you have already been pre-approved for a certain amount, that you have talked to your loan officer, and there is a certain monthly amount that is your desired amount that you want to pay. The question is, does that mortgage amount, does that payment amount align with your needs to have list? And needs to haves are, the number of bedrooms compared to the number of people that live in your household. Needs to haves are specific locations that you might need compared to where your job is, or where the school that you want your children to live in or to go to. Nice to haves. Nice to haves are those things where you were talking about a pool or a view of something, right? Those are nice to haves. And you got to be careful because nice to haves can keep you on the sidelines a little bit longer than what you would want. So what I suggest when you are now pre-approved and you are now shopping, go ahead and make that list of your need to haves, all right? Look at your current situation and understand what your ideal home is in relation to what you want to pay on a monthly basis, all right? And then you can sprinkle in a few nice to haves as long as they align with that monthly fee or that monthly payment that you want to make. Again, needs to have first, and you can sprinkle in some nice to haves. But if you are finding that what you desire to pay in your pre-approval doesn't align with the homes that you are desiring, you might need to go back and make some adjustments to that need to haves list. All right, that is your real estate minute of the day.
Wait a minute, go back, hold on. What was the other thing that they need to have?
Oh, need to haves?
What's you missed the need to have. What do we need to have?
And one thing that you need to have
Here we go.
is this book.
There you go.
Before You Buy, Read This. You can visit me at beforeyoubuy.readthis.com. This is your guide to jumpstarting your home buying process. It is a super easy to read, super simple book, but I can tell you it will get you going and jumpstart you on your home buying journey. If you are looking to buy within the next 12 months, read this book first. It's going to help you. All right, that is your real estate minute of the day. All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Did I interview you okay?
You did pretty good.
I was intrigued.
What?
Yes, and I was excited to talk about the Monday Night Men's Huddle and all the things that it encompasses, because I believe there's a need for it.
Yeah, there's definitely a need for it, and I think that we got something here, and it's just amazing what you can do just starting like right where you are.
Oh, that's good. That's a word, boo. Mm-hmm. That's a word. And I think we will end right on that note. Hey, before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button somewhere down there. Make sure you hit the bell every time. Well, just hit it once. That way you're notified every time we upload new content. Right. There you go. All right, y'all. Well, have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.